And welcome to Ontario Stacker. If you love silver, you've come to the right place. I have a fun one for you today, guys. I was talking to my buddy Lyle, and he was telling me how he used to make silver in the early 1980s. And I thought, you know what? Why don't we get together and you can tell me about the process. Lyle?
Well, I'm honored to be here. My friend is the swellest guy in town, and I'm the second swellest guy in town. I gotta admit, my head gets a little heavy at times. But then again, we're going to talk about something that's really heavy. 1,000 ounces. And by the way, we do not count sheep when we're falling asleep. We count silver bars. I worked at Inco for 30 and a half years. And before I became a mechanic welder, I did all kinds of jobs. One of them was to produce silver bars. I'll give you a quick rundown on it. After the nickel is smelted, they have these big hot metal cars that run by tracks over to the copper refinery. The copper refinery electrolytically plates out copper. And at the end of the process, there's a black sludge, and it's full of shiny little particles. This is PMs, high precious metals, black sludge. So the black sludge is put over into the silver building where I worked, and it's put into a dory furnace. It's melted down, and there's additives put in there to help it smelt out. And at the end of the smelting periods, I get little plates about 12 inches by 8 inches by a quarter of inch thick. And these are all electrolytic silver cells running along here, 2 banks of them. So in the middle of these little cells, I call them incubators because they look like baby incubators, there's a basket. The basket has glass rods running lengthwise in it. Then there's a special cloth laid over that, and I lay these silver metal, precious metal concentrate plates in here. Then I bring a lead down from this high voltage bus bar, and I put it into the center of each one of these stacks of plates. On the outside where this green material is, it's actually a solution. It's liquid silver. It's a mixture of water, nitric acid, and silver crystals, which are literally soluble in this solution. So as the day progresses, the silver is put into solution, and these plates in here melt down over a 3-shift period, and they have to be changed every once in a while because they disintegrate down into a black muck. As they disintegrate, the silver plates out and is saturated into this solution all around these outside areas. And when the solution of nitric acid and silver gets so saturated, they form little bubbles on the top, and they burst, and all little silver crystals float down to the bottom like silver snow into each one of these cells. Twice a shift, day shift, night shift, and afternoon shift, I lift up each one of these baskets, and I have a scraper, and I scrape all the silver crystals, beautiful silver snow, and I put them into the silver wagon right here. The same happens on night shift and afternoon shift. At the end of the week, I take this wagon, which is about, I'd say 8 feet by 4 feet by 3.5 feet wide. I take it over to a crucible that's in another building over here, and I pour it into a crucible, which is a round furnace about 3.5 feet deep, and underneath it there's a burner, and it's fairly wide. I melt the crystals down from this wagon into that crucible, and I take big tongs and I pour the silver into molds, and then I take a scraper and I scrape the slag off. I pour a mixture of dish soap and water on top to keep the bubbles from oxidating and bubbling on the top while it cools. And this is the product. They're stamped. I can't see it, but maybe my partner could see that figure.
Looks like 3 nines fine, and I'm counting 25,000 ounces of silver there. 25 1,000 ounce bars. Wow.
Plus, this is the vault where we keep it in here. There would be also gold bars, platinum, palladium, rhodium, precious metals in different types of containers. Once a week, a Brinks truck would come, and we would load about $5 million worth of precious metals into that Brinks truck.
So a lot of people think it's a copper or nickel mine, and they don't realize that you're getting tons of silver and gold out of this place.
Back in the 80s, they would pay all the employees, which was about 3,500 employees, all their wages by the precious metals that they made out of there, plus there was leftovers. And I might add that on the seventh bar that I would pour, I would carry a ladle of molten silver over to a wooden wheel that was spinning in cold water, and I'd pour that molten silver onto that wheel, and it would go and it would form silver shot, which was used for jewelry stores and for sampling. So that is pretty much the process in a nutshell. So you have it there. Now you're looking at liquid silver. Partner, I'm going to give it over to you now. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic, Lyle. Thanks for sharing that. I figured you guys would get a little kick out of that. It's not very often you get to talk to a guy that actually made silver. So if you got any value out of this video, appreciate, give me a comment, thumbs up, subscribe. Really helps the channel grow. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks. So have a great day. God bless. Ontario Stacker out.
Your head's looking a little heavy.